Adam Fletcher Brown, another artist, video blog here at Kicks96country.com. Our guest today, all the way from Franklin, Tennessee. Please welcome Drew Blake. Drew, how are you?
What's going on? How you doing?
Good. Welcome to Kicks Country.
Thank you.
Now, you're actually from Franklin,
yes.
Tennessee, which is not actually obviously not too really far from Nashville.
Not too bad. It's about 30 minutes.
Yeah, and you've lived there pretty much your entire life, right?
Lived there in Brentwood.
So. Brentwood. So you've never been too far from Music City and its influence.
Yeah, I've been all around. We moved back from Nashville and Knoxville. My dad was in the music business all of his life and advertising and stuff, so I moved quite a bit. And then moved down to Birmingham for 2 years and came back up. So.
Oh, okay. So, well, you've been at least through the better part of the Southeast,
right.
you know.
And then when I was 5, I lived in Stamford, Connecticut.
Oh, wow.
So did some advertising up there too. So it was.
All right. Well, now you mentioned your dad. You said he was in music and advertising. He's pretty much worked in the music industry for the better part of 30 years or better, right?
Yeah, he has.
So your love of music, specifically country music and things like that, it comes pretty naturally to you, pretty easily, right?
It does. I've been doing it since I remember. I mean, I was singing probably when I was 3.
Yeah.
And then when I was 7 years old, I got introduced to Walt Disney and got to do a Disney album called Disney Lullabies. The song that I did at 7, it was called Sleep Daddy Sleep. And it was pretty cool experience. It was a full orchestra, and it was with Pat Patrick Productions, and my dad was working for him, and so he's like, hey, you know, get my son in there. He knows how to sing, so got in there and I got hooked, like really bad.
Music's in your blood. You've been singing since you were a little bitty, and you made your first recording at age 7.
Yes.
Since then, you continue to reside near the Nashville area, and you've actually gotten a chance to work with a few big named artists.
Right. I was with the first artist I got to work with was Cowboy Crush. They were an all-girl band that started about 5 years ago. We went on tour with them through the greater part of the western United States. And then after I got back from there, did CMA when Taylor Swift first came out. She did an acoustic showcase down at the bottom floor of Grand Central Station. They got to run sound for her, which was pretty cool. And now look at her.
Yeah, really.
It's really huge. And then went on the road with Tanya Tucker for a couple of years.
Well, no, that had to be fun.
A riot.
Yeah, I won't make you. I mean, we're on. This is a family show, so I mean, it's Tanya. We all know we love you, Tanya. Do. But I know sometimes the behind-the-scene things get a little crazy.
Absolutely fun. I guess probably the most memorable time is we had a 3-hour layover in St. Louis, and she decided she just wants to go shopping. So me and her steel guitar player went to the mall and went shopping, and everything she bought for herself, she bought for her daughter, Layla, which I was like, oh great, so here you go. So imagine me and Tanya and him walking out with these bags full of clothes and shoes and everything. So it was a pretty memorable 3-hour layover for her. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot of stuff from a guy named Scott Oswalt. He taught me a lot of what I know about sound and engineering and stuff like that. And then amongst my dad being in the studio all my life and learning how to mix and do that kind of stuff was just never thought about anything else.
Gotcha.
You know, when I was in high school, I was like, well, you know, when I go to college, I'll do the whole music industry thing. But it just everything I was interested in was music all the time.
Well, like I said, you come by it honest, you know, growing up with it. Yeah. So when did you decide that you were going to try your hand as a recording artist?
About 4 years ago, I was introduced. I was working at a restaurant. I was introduced to a guy that was working there, and he was a musician, and so I became his drummer. And it slowly moved into how I got introduced to Arthur over here, and him and I played together for probably 6 to 8 months, and then I went solo. And I was like, well, I think I'm going to go solo here. So we went solo, and I brought him with me, and ever since then, I guess 3.5 years ago, 4 years, we've been rocking it out ever since. And it's been a difficult road. I mean, it's not. Everybody's like, oh, well, it's probably pretty easy. I was like, no, not really. You know, we've had our dead times, we've had our up times, we've had times where we're just nervous, so nervous. Arthur can vouch for me. When we were going on Wild Horse Saloon stage, it was like, oh, here we go. You know, we were sitting backstage, and I'm sitting there sweating bullets because it's like one of the biggest stages we've ever been on. But you know, once you get out there, it's like any other stage. No matter how big it is, how little it is, when you get in there, and you get in your zone, and you love it. It's the biggest rush you could ever get.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about your music. You're a songwriter. And now on the Nashville stage, which is a pretty good sized stage, and it's not exactly an empty stage. How does Drew Blake, look at his music and go, I need to have my own sound and my own voice, and I need to stand apart from everything else is other while remaining true to what I'm trying to do, which is country music.
Right.
What is your formula? What is it that you do?
Well, I mean, I've like growing up in the business, you listen to everybody else, and it's really hard to be unique because everybody wants to sound like everybody else.
Yeah.
So you've got to find your notch and what makes you sound different, what relates to everybody else, what really touches everybody else's heart. Mm-hmm. And that's a hard thing to do because if you, in my opinion, if you can touch their heart, then you got them. Mm-hmm. So what makes me is that I sing about real stuff. I sing about real experiences.
Your experiences.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the experiences that I've been through in my life. Daddy Gonna Love You, which is our current single that we have out on TCN right now, which we will do in a minute. It's about the girl that you bring home, and your mama does not like her, but your daddy loves her because she's just behind the scenes. She's like, daddy's like, oh man, that's the girl. Mom's like, heck no, I don't want her nowhere near. Mm-hmm. And then again, you get to it to where that you fall in love and you break up with a girl and she dies of a heartache. So it's kind of a real. It's anywhere from really hyped up, juiced up to, gut drenching, and that's where I've been, and that's where I want to take people, mm-hmm. because there's a lot of artists out there that are forced to, and I don't want to say this in a bad way, cookie cut, mm-hmm. In a way where they follow what the music industry wants them to follow instead of being true to the roots, and that's where I really want to stay, is true to my roots and stay humble and give people what they really want to hear, mm-hmm. but at the same time they don't want to hear because it touches that string that they're just like,
Well, do you have an album finished already?
I do. It's called Hazardous Country.
Okay.
It's every bit of meaning of hazardous country because it goes from the extreme to the heartfelt and everything. And this was our first CD coming out, and it's an array of songs. Funny story, Arthur was doing the music with my dad to Louisiana Lady. I think it was Louisiana Lady, and it was so funny. It was like we changed it. I swear like a dozen times before we got it exactly the way we wanted. He was so frustrated. But he was like, I got to get up and go outside for a minute. He said this I just got to get a break. and that's the reality of it. You get to the point where that you're writing and coming up with the music, and it's just getting to where it's just a point where you really want to make it to where everybody's going to like it and make it really a perfect circle out.
So you've had pretty much your hand in every aspect from the songwriting to the recording and the production of it,
yes,
to its eventual release. So this is truly your baby.
Yes, it is.
Truly,
it is. And I mean, and like I said, it's just from day one, it's been putting it together, getting in the studio, producing it. My father produced the album along with Richard Kearney with After 3 PM Studios. He engineered it, and I mean it was just a great. I mean I had some great players on there. Danny Parks, which everybody is like, they love him but they hate him at the same mm-hmm. time because his guitar licks are just one of those ones that are so simple they're hard.
Yeah. And
so Danny Parks has played Jason Aldean. On his stuff, Brad Paisley stuff. So it's, I had some great musicians in there to play. Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, it's been an experience from day one. I've had along with the Facebook and the website and everything, just built it from day one.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to get out of the way and let Arthur come and sit down and give you a taste of the true Drew Blake right here on Kicks96Country.com.
Baby riding shotgun, both feet on the dash. Her suitcase in my toolbox, a full tank of gas. Red Bull in the coffee cup, country on the radio. Me and her been hooking up, going on 10 months. Time to take her home, show her off to my sister, brother and dad. Build a pen for the cows that mama's gonna have. She spots that tattoo that only comes into view when my girl gets crazy. Now she can shoot whiskey, she can shoot pool, she can ride a fat boy tractor and a bull, dance like the devil's gone and the second coming. I ain't sure about mama, daddy's gonna love her. whitetail, thread a worm on a hook. She ain't scared to get dirty with words or looks. Makes dinner from a drive-thru, a cardboard box for a plate. Now she loves football, hates hearing last call. Hey y'all, I can't wait. Show her off to my sister, brother and dad. Build a pen for the cows that mom's gonna have. Spots that tattoo that only comes into view when my girl gets crazy. Now she can shoot whiskey, she can shoot pool, she can ride a fat boy tractor and a bull, dance like the devil's gone in second coming. I ain't sure about mama, daddy's gonna love her. She's hot and she's sexy, got a hold on my heart. Mama's gonna growl and the dog is gonna howl when we pull in the yard. Show her off to my sister, brother and dad. Build a pen for the cows that mom's gonna have. Spots that tattoo that only comes into view when my girl gets crazy. Now she can shoot whiskey, she can shoot pool, she can ride a fat boy tractor and a bull, dance like the devil's gone in the second coming. I ain't sure about mama, I ain't sure about mama. My daddy's gonna love her. Well, I ain't sure about mama, but I'm sure we're gonna love her.
And that's Drew Blake, Daddy's Gonna Love Her. That's a great song, man.
Thank you.
Now that's on the album that the album is completed, correct?
Yes, it is.
All right, so now you mentioned a website. Where can my listeners go? And
Then go to www.drewblake.com. It's DRUBLAKE. Most people get it mistaken with DREW. From there, there's icons for Facebook, iTunes, YouTube, pretty much anything that you need process that we're on. Amazon, we're on Google Play. We just pretty much any music.
About to say, just Google search or Yahoo search or what have you, Drew Blake, and you found him.
Yeah, absolutely. We put a lot of hard work into getting the access that we need for everybody to find us and everything. And our album is, we got a store on our website. You can buy the album, you can buy T-shirts, keychains, pretty much anything that that you're looking for. Do you have regular gigs? I mean, for folks to get back and forth from from Kicks Country to Nashville. Matter of fact, we're playing tomorrow night at the Middle Tennessee District Fair.
You're gonna be playing with Kelly Pickler's up there this year.
Yes, she's there Thursday. We're in there tomorrow night. We start at 9 o'clock down on the. Do you know what the name of the stage is? I think it's just the.
The main
just the main entrance stage. We'll be playing there as well, and then hanging out, signing autographs, selling T-shirts, CDs. So if you guys want to come down and see us, we'll be there.
Absolutely.
Then we got some dates in November. We're gonna be down at Parker's Place, playing there. I think that's the 3rd of November. Then we'll be at actually here in Florence on the 10th. We'll be down in Flabama.
Oh, good. So you're going to be right here in the heart of Kicks Country. Yeah. So we're going to have to make sure that you stop by again and see us before we play then.
We'll do that. And then we got another date on the 17th at Good Times.
Right. And all this is found on your website, drewblake.com,
yes.
right?
Yes, absolutely.
Full tour schedule there. Keep up with Blake and Arthur and where they land, and you can hear more of the the true Drew Blake right here. All right. Now, if you want to hear Daddy's Gonna Love You, make sure you call us at Kicks 96. We'll be happy to play that for you. Drew, thanks for coming and visiting.
Absolutely, no problem.
All right, and we'll see you guys next time on another artist video blog here at Kicks96country.com.